Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. The holidays just around the corner. You know what the perfect gift would be? Yeah, a boat. Maybe it's a gift for yourself, of course, but a boat would be a pretty nice gift. Think of all the endless hours of fun and relaxation you'll have on Tennessee's rivers and lakes over years to come. Well, the best place to go? Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat. I say that every week because I mean that every week. Ask anyone who's ever bought from Madisonville Marine. All right, I want to welcome in the next round here. We're Chuck, Jimmy, Josh back with us to discuss the negative signs. All right, let's take a look here at which of these concerns are the biggest concerns heading into November. And we'll start with fourth downs. Tennessee was 2 of 10 on the season. Yes, going into the game, they were 0 of 1 yesterday down at the goal line. They didn't get it. So they're 2 of 11, which is the worst percentage in the country on fourth downs. Red zone offense. Tennessee had 10 touchdowns and 18 trips, and then they were only 1 of 3 versus South Carolina. You had the 17-play drive for nothing, the drive to nowhere. So you're 11 of 21, 11 touchdowns and 21 red zone trips. That's 13th or 14th. I haven't checked the numbers this morning. It's at least 13th in the SEC. And then lastly, injuries. Wright, Morris, To'o, Taylor, Garantano. All these guys left the field at one time or another yesterday, and we're not going to find out from the coaching staff when they'll be back until we look out there next Saturday. But which of those is the least important? I think there's a clear one. Let's see if you guys agree. Which is the least important concern?
Now I feel pressure. I'm going to say fourth downs.
Yeah. Because you don't see many of those.
Yeah, little luck. Yeah, they're not going to have too many of those situations.
Different down and distance. All right, let's move.
And you can control that. Don't go for fourth down.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, don't go for fourth down.
Yeah, convert on third.
All right, so that's number 3. So here's the real question. Which is the bigger concern moving forward into November? Red zone offense or injuries?
I'm going to go with injuries, especially to your offensive line, because as you lose more player, we were talking about how good this offensive line has been. What happened if your 2 tackles are out? To'o, if you lose him, he was retaped and went back in. But I think the injuries affects the other things a lot. And you've got explosive plays, so maybe you don't have to get into the red zone and count on that as much.
I think it's injuries also. And I think it was recently when Jeremy Pruitt said when he went down to Alabama, he had 63 players that were healthy and 71 on scholarship. They don't have a lot of depth. I think you saw what happened defensively. I won't blame it all on this, but I think when Daniel Batula did play against Georgia State, that had an impact. I think they're so thin that injuries could derail their attempt to try to finish with 5 or 6 wins.
I think it's really close. I'm actually going to go with red zone offense. If I'm wrong here, if I would go injury, it would be because at quarterback they have such a problem. If they don't have Maurer or Garantano and Shroud's just not ready to do more, then you have a problem. But in the red zone, if you're in a close one at Kentucky, let's say, that's a defense that's really good. They have not allowed a lot of passing touchdowns. If you're in that spot where it's a 2 to 3 score game for each side and you're struggling to get in the end zone, you're kicking field goals and they manage to get a touchdown or 2 against you, it could cost you the game. So I actually feel better about their ability to manage injuries on the offensive line. They shuffled a lot against South Carolina, and getting Jameer Johnson back has helped, but the injury concern at quarterback would be the one that stands out to me.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw you tweet this yesterday. It's a good point. They've had a quarterback have to leave the game due to injury 4 straight
in a row.
Yeah, incredible.
That's a
concern.
Yeah. The injuries, I think you have to put number 1, but red zone is close because I know right now, in the glow of yesterday, everyone's like, you score from 50 yards out, what's it matter? You've seen that exactly once this year.
But don't you think you could be a little bit more creative in what you've been trying to call once you get close to the goal line?
I just don't think they're good. Some teams are just not good. They don't have the weaponry. I don't know that it's all. I mean, I've watched pro teams. People hate it when I mention my pro team, but they're not great in the red zone because they just don't have the right weapons.
They hate your pro team.
Yes. That's why I didn't say the name. But that's a team that has trouble in the red zone. I don't think it's because they're not creative play calling.
If you watch, in my opinion, most of the teams that are pretty effective in the red zone have a mobile quarterback. Tennessee didn't have a big problem with that with Josh Dobbs. They got a bigger problem. I think when you don't have a mobile quarterback, that hurts. You look at Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields or some of these other quarterbacks that are mobile. I think when you get in the red zone, that is a weapon that's difficult for defenses to deal with.
I also think even though their run game is much improved, I mean, you're about 3.5 yards a carry, which is, that's the bottom of where you want to be, I think. But if you get to 4 yards a carry, a little over 4 yards a carry, you get back to where Tennessee was 90s. You're real good in the red zone because you can just hand it off and punch it in. This team really can't punch it in at this point when they get down there. You saw that again
Right.
yesterday. They just have a hard time running the thing in. So, anyway, all right. Good points, one and all. Injuries was number 1. 2 was red zone offense. 3 was fourth downs. All right, when we come back, the basketball Vols get underway this coming Wednesday, the exhibition game. Mark Pankratz is next, and we're going to talk about all kinds of news from basketball. Then we move back to football. We got the picks for UAB. We're going to talk about this team's resilience, the way this locker room has held together in the face of a lot of adversity. Much more to come on the Sports Source. Come on back.